Welcome to Running for Real, a global community with a shared love and curiosity for running. Together we reconnect with the reasons why we love to run and discover ways it helps us become better people. Whether it's the quiet moments of a morning run while the rest of the world still sleeps, or befriending the strangers next to you at the start line of a race, we are here to connect with others who see running as the common thread that weaves our lives together. Come join me, Tina Muir, as I talk with people from all walks of life, united by a love of running. Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 410 of the Running for Real podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am excited that you are here, and it is time for another update episode. I can't actually remember when I did the last one of these. I want to say it was shortly after my Achilles surgery, so it's been at least a few months, but I knew these are always well received, so I wanted to make sure we had some time to catch up and just to check in. And I'll be honest, it's also the summer. As you listen to this, I should be hopefully just have returned from a driving trip out to Colorado with my family, had a week off. I hope I had some nice restful time and be building back into work things. So all that to say, so there was no guest. But that said, I think these update episodes are good for checking in for those who know me well, but don't really necessarily get to follow along with every episode of the podcast. They are also good to kind of document and check in, and hopefully to give yourself some freedom to not be perfect within your own life, because I know we are under so much pressure to feel like we have everything under control, that we have our lives figured out. And so I hope with these conversations, these update episodes, I show you that while you might be seeing things on social media that appear like everything is great, it's not necessarily the case. Before we begin, I do want to start by checking in with one of our sponsors. I want to introduce you to a brand new sponsor who's been joining us for the last few weeks, and I'm very excited about, and that's Runna. That's R-U-N-N-A, Runna. Runna is the #1 rated running coaching app in the world with over 20,000 5-star reviews. That tells you something in itself. They're on a mission to make running as easy, effective, and enjoyable as possible. They do this through creating personalized running plans for runners of all abilities. So that doesn't matter if you are starting your first couch to 5K or if you are a 2:30 marathoner looking to step it up to the next level. All of their plans are built by Olympic athletes and expert coaches. You probably will recognize a lot of the names they have as their coaches, and they are growing fast. So some key features to pay attention to. The strength and conditioning plans they have on there are running specific and they're full body. I love that you can have all these things in the same place. They have integrated mobility and Pilates plans, calendar syncing, and my favorite part is you can connect with other like-minded runners in the community section. I've loved seeing all the events that Runna is bringing in person, both in the UK and now especially in the US. And I'm really excited to see what they do in the future. So as a friend of mine, you can use the code Running for Real. That's RUNNINGFORREAL, Running for Real. And that is going to get you a 2-week free trial of Runna. I definitely encourage you to go check that out. I will put links in the show notes for you to go check it out. Very excited to be working alongside Runna. And while as I record this, I've not yet done my first run, I will be checking in with them as I build up, and it's going to be exciting. I've never been at this stage where I've missed this much time before. And so I really will be starting from the beginning, and it'll be great to have their insights as I build up my training. Remember to use code Running for Real, and you can find Runna wherever you get your apps. All right, so let's speak about my foot. Coming up on, by the time you listen to this, it will be 15 weeks since my surgery. I was told this morning, as of the 22nd of July, that I'm close by my PT to running. She wants me to start jumps before I run, which is kind of hard to wrap my head around, but that's where we're at. Today I did 13 single leg calf raises with good form, and then another 8 with bad, with like continuing levels of not so great form. But I'm getting there. And while this process has been a lot slower and a lot harder than even I anticipated, I feel like I had low expectations of coming back. I was really prepared mentally for whatever it took. I do feel like I've continued that, but it has been very slow. I really didn't think I would be at 14 weeks post-surgery and still not even like have a run on the calendar. That's a long time. And I know it's not long in the grand scheme of my life, and I know it will come back. But it still does feel like it's a lot. And it's still, there's a lot of pain there. Not necessarily day to day walking around, although there is some. Every time I get up from sitting down for a while, there's a few steps of pain. I know I've got a long way to go, but it is just interesting to see. What would be the right way of saying it? It is interesting to see just how slow of a process this can be. And a few weeks ago, I went to see an amazing PT in Bend, Jay DeSherry, who you may recognize as a previous podcast guest. Jay is known as one of the best PTs, certainly in running, potentially in the US in general. He is the creator of the Mobo board, which is every PT I have been inside of since he invented it. And he has written the books Running Rewired and Anatomy for Runners, which are all over the country. I am very fortunate to call Jay a friend, and I got to go see him last week, and he gave advice as to how to really start off right as I begin to move towards running. He's given me a lot of exercises to do, some stuff to kind of soft tissue stuff that we can work on, and given me some hope that by doing these things now, I'm avoiding it happening on the other side, which is my primary goal at this point. Or not primary goal, but that's a definite thing in my brain right now. So I went to see Jay. That was really important and impactful. He is even more of a genius in person than I thought he was going to be. And I really cherished that time with him. I've also been doing a lot of cross training for my foot. I've done some swimming, some biking. I've finally yesterday got back to biking almost 2 hours. I've been doing my strength training, and I've been doing some rowing and just trying other things, including just walking around my neighborhood, which is something I never did, but I need to build that strength in my foot. So I have been doing cross training, but this is where I mentioned about the imperfection. And even though I've been doing that, and I've had some weeks where I've got 5 to 6 days of an hour or more of exercise, doing one of those activities, as well as the PT for 5 to 6 days a week. I've had other weeks where I've barely managed to get 2 things in a week. And not just 1 week of that either. There's been maybe 3 or 4 throughout the summer. And going into this week of driving to Colorado and back with my family, I anticipate another week of probably not much. That said, I think it's important to talk about this because we all go through phases of life like this. And while you might be seeing other elite athletes who feel like they're getting everything in, the reality is that most of us are just doing the best we can. And there are going to be some weeks where we just don't get things in, and that is okay. Even though there's that little voice in my head that says every bike workout you miss or every swim you miss, you are getting further and further behind with your fitness. That's more to climb afterwards. But we can only do what we can do, right? And so I just keep reminding myself that. And maybe you need that reminder too, if you are someone who really tends to be the same way in keeping yourself to very high standards. So in essence, I'm doing the best I can with my foot. It is still got a long way to go. It is nowhere near back to normal, but I'm doing the work, and I believe that my journey is unfolding the way it should be, and it could be. And I am appreciating all these little mini steps that I'm taking along the way. So next area, work. You're obviously listening to this podcast. That is one thing that I do put out every week. And if you have missed a few episodes, it is summer. Totally get it. Also, don't expect you to follow along with every episode any time of year. I know it's a lot. So again, wanted to give that freedom there. But some guests you might have missed and want to catch up episodes on. Alex Hermanson, also known as Herm Runs. Isaiah Stoferin, who is Isaiah Photo, Izzy Seidel, Maggie Mertens, Adrian Octavius Walker, Robert Jackson, and last week we had Dr. Madeline Orr. So if you missed any of those, you love any of those, go back and listen to those ones. Those are some really great episodes on varying topics. Now, I've been spending a lot of my time working on San Diego. The World Athletics Road Running Championships is happening next year from September 26th to September 28, 2025. I am the sustainability director for that. Huge honor. And the team is actually really behind me in the sustainability initiatives, which is huge. Right now, we're building the registration platform, which is going to be out very soon. I will tell you very soon when that is, but I would love to have many of you coming to join. We're building some really cool initiatives, and the event itself will be a 1 mile, a 5K, and a half marathon. Yes, there will be elites running in those races in the World Championship, but there's also what they're calling a people's race, a mass race. So you can participate. You can run with those elites at the same time as them. So if you want to sign up for that, I would encourage you to put that onto your calendar. I will be sharing a lot more about it once it is live, once we are ready. And there'll be some really cool environmental initiatives that I would love for you to participate in and support me in that. Also, if you want to volunteer, I will be looking for volunteers. If that's something you've always thought about doing and would love to work alongside me, I'd love your support. Other things, Jeremy, Sally, and I are building something exciting behind the scenes. We can't really share too much of what it is, but let's just say it is a way to continue the work that we are doing in a way that will speak to everyone. Or maybe, obviously, not everyone if it's about environmental, but we'll speak to a lot more people. We really feel excited about what we're doing. Looking forward to sharing more about that sometime soon. But in the meantime, we are working hard behind the scenes. Another thing I wanted to share is recently I was invited to speak at the Green Sports Alliance conference, which was in LA. And when I was in LA, I also got invited by them to present one of the awards. Ended up being an award for innovation with the World Surf League, which I thought was amazing. Of all the groups within sport I could have given an award to, I was really proud to do it with surfing. Surfing is a sport, might be surprising for you to hear, but I do feel passionate about. It is something that I love to do when I get the opportunity. And so I loved getting the opportunity to present that award, share a little bit about my story. And one thing I learned during that conference is how you heard Dr. Maddie talk last week about how running is so applicable as a means of communicating climate change, that we are out there almost every day. Most other sports aren't out there almost every day, seeing the changes, going to different places, seeing the difference in the locations and the various scenes that we run in. But I also learned that running can be a method of getting the message out through sports. Like when I think I and maybe you think of sports, I tend to think of the big ones like, soccer and American football and rugby and volleyball or tennis, whereas like running is one of the ones that can speak to everyone. And so it really changed my approach on the way that I think I'm going to be pitching. Yeah, just opportunities to speak about climate change, but using running as a method to do that. So I really enjoyed that conference. I got to meet a lot of really amazing people. Actually even got to meet a new partner, which we will be announcing very soon, and a very random and beautiful story, which you'll hear about. Very real, very 2024. And I have been a customer of this company for at least 5 years. I'm definitely was one of their early customers. So we'll share more about that soon. So that's the work stuff. As I said, the summer is a bit of a calmer season. In terms of other things going on, actually, one more thing with work stuff. I've mentioned to you many times that one of the biggest things environmentally that we can do as runners is to buy quality clothes and shoes that last. Not buy cheap stuff, not buy polyester, but to buy items that last a long time and do well, despite our sweatiness and the humidity and the fact that we might not wash things for longer than we should, that they're left outside and hanging or they're in a crumpled pile in the corner. And I've mentioned to you that my Tracksmith items are 5 years old in amazing condition still, the same condition they've been in for the last 5 years, even though I've worn them and worn them hundreds of times, washed them probably over 50 times. And they really are doing so well. So I really encourage you to think about your clothing choices in future. And I really love Tracksmith for that reason. We are working on something right now that's going to help to give you easily accessible ways of doing your part environmentally without it feeling so intimidating, more of what I do in general. But I'm really excited to be working with Tracksmith on some of these things. So if you haven't already purchased something from Tracksmith and you do really actually need something and you want something to be long lasting, not to fall apart within a year, you can go to tracksmith.com/Tina. You can use code TINANEW for $15 off your order of $75 or more, or you can use code TINAGIVE if you're a previous customer. I love Tracksmith. I'm wearing Tracksmith shirt and Tracksmith shorts right now. I am always, and a sports bra. I am always wearing their clothes. Okay, so what other updates do I have? Steve and I celebrated our 10-year anniversary recently, which was very exciting and kind of crazy to think about. We were out in Portland. We went to Bend for the weekend not the weekend, for a night while we went and saw Jade Sherry. But we also had some time where we went out on a Sunday evening and had a really nice fancy restaurant with a beautiful view of Portland City Grill, I believe it was, if any of you know Portland well. We were in Portland, by the way, visiting my in-laws. And it was just nice to celebrate the two of us and to talk through what the next 10 years could look like. Other updates, Costa Rica. If you have always dreamed of going to Costa Rica, I definitely have. I would love for you to come join me with Ari Libre. We have a trip going the end of November. And yes, that is Thanksgiving week, but for me, that's actually a major benefit. But you can come with us. It is gentle intensity. So if you are a runner who is nervous about whether it's going to be too much or whether you'll be able to do it, this is gentle. I mean, I'm not even running yet. I told you I'm going to be 4 months off. So I'm not going to be many months into my running. It is gentle. It is beginner level of running. So I would love to have you join me. And if you want to use code TINAMUA, you can get yourself 10% off. I'll put a link in the show notes to go check out that Costa Rica trip. What else? I went to Western States for the first time to crew one of my best friends, Ryan Montgomery. Ryan had a bit of a rough day. Ended up finding out afterwards that he had COVID and did the whole 100 miles with COVID. He was struggling the whole day, in and out of the bathroom all day. But it was really amazing to get to see this race that I've interviewed so many winners from and just got to experience online. To see it in person was really amazing. I loved the crew that Ryan had. We got on really well. And I was proud of him. But it was a really cool experience to be there. I was really proud of the fact that I walked 2 miles downhill. That was the longest walk I had done at that point. And it was just really fun to be there. What else do I have to update you on? I mentioned about the podcast guests already. I also, so let's talk about things coming up. So I will be, as I mentioned to you, I will be heading to Colorado. We'll hopefully be back by the time you listen to this. But in the fall, we have some things coming that I'm very excited about. The first being I'm going to be at Leadville. That gives me the opportunity once again to go see my PT in Vail and to go see the surgeon again, just to keep checking in on my foot. But also Ryan is going for the win at Leadville. It's an easy trip out for me to get to Colorado, as you can tell from my constant heading out there. And then in September, I will be doing multiple events in New York for Climate Week. I will be in Chicago for the Chicago Marathon. What else have I gone on here? I will be in New York, of course, for the New York Marathon. There's that Costa Rica trip if you want to come join. And I will be at Running Industry Alliance if any of you are going to be going to that. So we have a lot of exciting things to come. There will be plogging events at each of these races. And events. There will be opportunities for you for me and you to connect, but also to do something meaningful each time. So friends, my final brand I want to appreciate is Precision. Now, before you jump off, I do want to say that Precision has been so supportive of me. Not only have I been injured most of the time that I've been with them, and they've continued to support me, but they said that the articles I wrote for them on their website about being injured are some of the most read articles. And I know I'm good at speaking to people in a way that is relatable and real, but that was just really nice that they're allowing me to find ways to speak and communicate with runners while I am in a state where I can't really do a lot of that. And, that can be tough to feel like I'm not contributing to the running community in the way that I'd like to, or participating in the way that I'd like to. But now I am getting to the stage where I can do longer bike rides. I can take my Precision gels, and I've been taking the electrolytes all along. They are a godsend this time of year with the humidity. I'm actually sweating while I'm even recording this right now. It is humid here in St. Louis, and I take the Precision 1000 level electrolytes every day without fail. I need them, whether I'm swimming, biking, or just walking around. I really do find they make a difference. And the thing that I love about Precision is you can get yourself tested to see what you need, your level of sweat, your level of electrolytes that you need to replace, how many gels you will need. They have this free planner that you can use. I'll put links in the show notes to that. And you can also use the code Tina Sent Me to get yourself 15% off by going to precisionhydration.com. So let's use code Tina Sent Me. Is there anything else I want to update for you? I think it's just to say that I'm grateful to all of you for sticking with me through these various evolutions of the work that I've been doing. I know it could be really easy I get kind of caught up in directions of like excited about this and excited about that. But where we're headed really feels aligned with me and what I want to do. And sometimes it can feel like I don't have much of an impact and that the work that I'm doing isn't making a difference. But more and more, I feel the direction we're headed in as Running for Real and as what we're building, that we're doing something that is meaningful. We're allowing you as the community to be a part of the solution, to contribute in your own way. And I hope that even if you feel like you're not doing enough, even if you feel maybe sometimes seeing what I'm putting out there can be a bit triggering and can make you feel bad about yourself, because it's like, oh, she's telling me I should be doing this and I know I should, but I just can't. I don't have the space. Remember that it's better for all of us, or most of us, to be imperfect environmentalists, even if you feel you are very imperfect environmentalists, than a few of us be doing a lot and still failing, because we're not set up to be successful. But I do believe that whatever it is you can do, whatever your step is, even if it is something as simple as like not getting a balloon for your child on their birthday this year, like wherever you can start, that matters. You matter. And I just appreciate you for being along with me on this ride. My friends, I will be back with a guest for next week's episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. There will be links in the show notes at runningforreal.com/episode 410. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Before we go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to the Running for Real team. Without them, I would not be able to do barely anything compared to what I'm able to do today. They are behind the scenes. They are there for me. I am just so appreciative of them. To Jeremy Nessel, our podcast editor, audio consultant, and someone who's been with me since the start. To Sally Pontarelli, our content and operations manager, who is there day to day doing all the things to help me be successful. To Kelsey Wang, our head of design, and Louise Murphy, our associate designer. And finally, to Sandy Gutierrez, our photographer and content strategist. I am appreciative of all of you and wouldn't be able to do what I do without you.